Hey, I'm Summer.
And I'm Mike.
And we got married.
With children.
We're married 2 years now.
Blended for 11.
Like a margarita.
Yeah, baby, like a margarita.
And you're listening to the Everything Always podcast.
Want to tell them why we do this?
We do this because blending families isn't easy. There's step-parenting, co-parenting, his ex.
Her ex.
Schedules, sibling rivalry.
Money issues.
Custody issues.
Dating and relationship issues.
It's a whole lot of stuff.
Blended with a whole lot of good stuff.
And we're here to talk about all of it because we've done most of it.
We might not be experts, but we've learned a lot.
And we're still learning, and we want to share that with you.
Thanks for joining. Now let's go.
Hello, hello. Welcome to another Everything Always episode. I am your host, Summer Felix Mulder, and today I am going to talk about not caring what other people think. Today's episode actually can help anyone listening, but especially those who find themselves in the situation of feeling judged and then caring about that judgment and what people think. And we totally get it, because when it comes to blending families, or honestly, even before that, when you're going through divorce and then you're dating or you're introducing your kids to someone, there is what you think is right, and then there's what someone else thinks is right, and we can get really hung up on what those judgments are or what those opinions are of other people. We have definitely been in those positions when there is judgment. So for example, I've had people tell me that I should be more strict as a stepmom. Like, you should enforce the rules more and the consequences, whether you are a bio parent or not. And if you've listened to our episodes, you know that I feel differently on that. And I feel like it's the bio parent who should really enforce those, and the step parent who supports those, but has a slightly different relationship with their stepchildren or bonus children, if you will. We've also had people inserting their opinion when we weren't married yet after 2 years. Like, come on, when's it going to happen? And if you've listened, you know that I think we were 5 years into dating before we got engaged. And then it was another 2 years until we got married. That was our choice. That's what we did. But there was judgment that came with that. We've also had people question our parenting styles. We've had people literally judge the way that we eat. You're feeding the kids too healthy, they don't like it. Or you're not healthy enough. Or, I mean, there's like so many different things, from little petty things to big things. And it can definitely affect you. And we all get this with anything in our life. Parents tend to get this a lot. And I think especially new parents. Oh my gosh, I remember being a new mom and the judgment that came with, if you're using a pacifier, not using a pacifier, or it was horrible if you're sleeping with your kids, if you're not sleeping with your kids. Like, there's just so many conflicting things, and people are so firm in their judgment. And it's like, wait a minute, you get caught up in it, and it should be about you and not them. But we're going to get into that, because that's why I wanted to do this episode, is that I see it happen a ton in blended families in all different stages, whether you are just in that separation mode or divorce, all the different phases. Sometimes it's happening 15 years later. So today we're going to talk about how you can deal with this. And I'm really going to share some tips and ways to not care what people think, and just not give a blank. So really quick though, before we dive in, I want to give this little disclaimer. It is true that having opinions from trusted people in your life is a good thing. So when I say not care what people think, I'm really referring to the people that are not elevating you. Like if you have a mentor or a really great friend or someone in your life that you can run something by so that they confirm, you're not totally out of your mind or wanting to do something that is probably not going to result in something good. They can be that confidant that kind of like, I'm going to give you my opinion because I actually care about you. And sometimes, there's times where your emotions are out of control and you want to send your ex-spouse a nasty text message. Having that one person to talk you out of it and insert their opinion at that moment can be helpful. So that's my disclaimer there in terms of not caring what people think. There are certain people, trusted people, that you do want to care about what they think. So I'm not talking about that type of opinion. That one could actually be very, very helpful in a lot of situations. I'm really talking about not caring about the people that you have a hard time tolerating, or you find yourself getting a stomach ache when you're around them because of that judgment, or you're on eggshells. You're worried about what you're going to say to them because they're probably going to come back with a big fat opinion that's going to make you feel bad. So why is this important? Well, the number one reason it's so important not to care what these other people think is because it's your life to live. And it's your business, not theirs. And we're all going to agree and disagree with ways of doing things. But if we spend our energy worrying about how others will perceive us, if we don't do it the way that they approve of, then we're not going to live a free life. You're going to live life to please others. And honestly, that sounds like anything but fun. And especially, it doesn't sound fulfilling. So let's first talk about, why do we even care what other people think? Not just when it comes to family, friends, exes. A lot of us care even when it comes to complete strangers. We get totally impacted by what they think. I would say at some point or another, we have probably all took action or made a choice in life based on someone else would perceive us. What they thought of us and how they would make us feel was actually more important to us than doing what we really wanted to do. And if you have never done that, I want to know you. Please email us, because that's amazing. That's incredible. But most people I know, most people at some point, maybe multiple times in their life, have made a choice or done something because of what somebody else thinks instead of what we think. And so we make a choice based on their opinion rather than our own. And then usually we're unhappy with that choice. I'll be totally honest with you. I have lived a good portion of my life worrying about other people's opinions and caring more about those than my own, to the point where I did make choices that deep down I either really wanted to do and didn't do something because of what somebody else thought, or did something because of what somebody else thought and I really didn't want to do it. I'm so guilty of being a people pleaser, and I'm still in recovery mode, if you will, trying to get past that. I've made really, really great improvements and I've come a long way, but it's been something that I've just done my whole entire life, because I would just listen to other people that say, no, you shouldn't do that. And instead of me thinking, yeah, but I think I can, I would listen to their reasons why I shouldn't and then not do it. Or people talk me out of something that I was super passionate about, like a big goal. And I take responsibility for this, by the way. I'm just saying it didn't really serve me unless the lessons of not doing the things that I wanted to do, yeah, that totally served me well. So I'll take that from it. But I definitely was a person that would conform to somebody else's ideal so as not to cause friction, not to cause waves, which is so silly, right? That's silly. And I know a lot of you listening are just like, I wouldn't do that. I'd do what I want to do, which is great. And maybe some of you relate to me. It's a little bit maybe humbling. I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, because I'm all about people feeling empowered and all about achieving their big dreams and goals and really standing for what they believe in, even if it's something that somebody else doesn't agree to. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is I'm not totally past it. And in blended families, there's so many reasons for people to make their judgments, and especially if you're a mom or dad and you're raising kids in a community, people will have their opinions. And there's also people that are super awesome and supportive. And those are the people you want to be around that help lift you up.
Hey guys, guess what? We have a new website where you can see all of our podcasts and get easy access to the show notes, everything we talk about on the episodes, and you can even listen to the podcast directly from the site. You can contact us through the site and share your thoughts and questions. Check it out at www.everythingalways.co. That's www.everythingalways.co.
And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Everything Always Co. We just set it up and we'll be sure to put important announcements there.
And we love that this podcast has been so helpful to so many, and our hope is to share it with even more. So can you help us? Will you take a moment now or after the episode to subscribe to the podcast, write a review, and share it? It would mean the world to us, and it helps us to keep bringing you the best content.
Come on, we appreciate you guys. So what do you say, baby? Back to the episode?
Back to the episode.
There's some people right now listening or that are thinking like, what do you do though when it's like your mother-in-law, but my mother-in-law and I always have to see her, or but my ex-husband's ex thinks this, or but my ex says that I have to do this way and I can't escape it. Well, that's why I'm bringing out this episode today, because I think especially right now in our current climate, there's so much judgment happening, not just with your family and how you're doing things, but now there's judgment on how seriously are you taking this pandemic? You're either too serious or you're not serious enough. There's judgment on whether you should leave your house or not. Can you take a walk? Can you go to an outdoor restaurant? There's judgment on whether you agree with wearing a mask or not. There's judgment on politics. I mean, there's so much right now. It's so heated and it feels endless right now, and it's causing friendships to break, and it's causing turmoil in relationships within families. So what I want to say is that I don't want any of these negative opinions or judgments to affect your life. There's no good reason for them to affect your life in a bad way. So today, this is really about saying it's time to stop caring what they think so that you can feel free and enjoy your own life. So with that, I put together 7 mindset shifts to think about whenever someone hits you with a judgment or you find yourself like stomach aching over it because of a remark or something that came from somebody else. So here's the first one. It's not you, it's them. There will be people who say mean things or judge how soon you got married, how you step parent, how you handle your ex, all of those things. But remember this, people that aren't offering helpful advice, but that are actually going out of their way to criticize you in a non-helpful way are most likely unhappy. And what they are saying to you is a reflection of themselves. Notice how happy people who are confident with their way of doing things, they don't speak negatively to others. They actually just don't care because they're just like, hey, you do you, I'll do me. They're not busy enough worrying about their own life and making their own life great. And so they kind of need this cheap thrill. It's almost like entertainment of making you feel bad. And this makes them feel more powerful in that moment. It's really sad, but this is true. So next time someone says something rude and judgmental, remember, you don't need to get upset. You actually have control to not get upset. And remember that it's about them, not you. Don't take it to heart. And remember, it really has nothing to do with you. I can give like the silly example of being healthy. Oh, you guys are too healthy. The kids don't like it. And if you think of something like that, it's like, okay, well, why is that so important to say? Because first of all, kids can speak for themselves, and most kids don't like to eat healthy foods, right? Some of them do, but a lot of times kids are experimenting and going, I really don't like those Brussels sprouts. I'd really prefer a bag of Doritos. Yeah, that does sound more fun, doesn't it? The point is, though, to insert that opinion would be more like, are you struggling because you wish you were more healthy? Do you want to be the more fun parents because you have more unhealthy foods? Like, what is it that you're trying to get to here? Remember, that type of a comment would be more about them than it is about you. If you believe in being healthy and serving healthy food to your kids, then own that and do what you feel is right. Okay, there's so many more other examples on that, but I was trying to give an easy one. The second one, you do you. We know that you've heard this before, but it's really important to know. Once you start doing what you believe is right for you without worrying about what other people think, I'm telling you, there's this amazing feeling of freedom. It is so empowering. And once you've let go of all of that energy and that weight of worrying about what somebody else thinks, you start to become this better version of you. You're more free and you're putting your energy towards really good things. So people say this a lot. You do you, you do you. You do you. Number 3, you only got one shot. Yep, bringing in some Eminem here, but it's true. You literally have this one life. You don't get to do it over. Wouldn't you regret not doing it your way? When you think of it that way, doesn't it kind of shift your perspective? Like if you're spending every day parenting away because somebody else told you to parent that way, or not doing something because everybody told you you're not going to make it. I don't think you can achieve that goal. Like when you come to those final days, aren't you going to regret that? Because you did what somebody else wanted to do when it's not even their own life to live? I think it makes it a lot easier. For me, this helps a ton. It makes it so much easier to dismiss their opinion when you realize that this is your life and you only have this one shot. That totally shifted things for me like years ago. Number 4, what if? I love these 2 words, what if. In fact, it's a journaling practice that I do where I will write out what if, what if, what if. When I'm in a situation I don't like, I what if my way out of it. And that goes both ways. I will what if to offer up the potential of how something could turn into something really, really amazing. What if this goes really, really well? And then I also bring in the imagination of how it could just go amazingly well. Just kind of that like no holding back at all. What could happen if I did the thing that I wanted to do? In this case, when you are faced with negative people or negative judgment, I would go both ways. What if I did it their way? What if I did it my way? What if I continue to care? What if I say, heck with their opinion, I'll get married when I'm ready? Then think about the what if. What is the worst case scenario if you ignore their opinion? If you ignore your mother-in-law's pleas for you to become vegetarian, what will happen? Go down the rabbit hole. Will it really be that bad? And then think of the worst case if you don't do what you really want and live life on your terms because of what they think. What's the worst case scenario there? I love what if. It also is another thing that frees up your brain, because a lot of times we get caught up in the anxiety of not knowing what could happen. But when you just go down and actually explore and then you realize you're okay, it's like, oh, okay. That alleviates so much anxiety. That goes for any type of situation. Number 6, your go-to crew. I mentioned this in the beginning, but choosing your select few who you trust and valuing their opinion is all you really need. Like we all need someone that we can confide in, and it's those that actually care and have your best interest at heart that you should go to. But other people that just voluntarily say something because they want you to feel bad about your choices in life so that they can feel better about theirs. No. Have the people that you absolutely trust. Number 7, ain't nobody got time for that. Whenever you start cleaning house in your world and getting rid of that which doesn't serve you and elevates you to be the best version of you, people will get upset. It's crazy, right? You think that they should be happy for you. The people in number 6, your go-to crew, the people that are your real friends and love you and care for you, they are going to be happy for you. And you're probably going to inspire them to do the same. But when you start to not talk to the people put in strict boundaries for those people that have actually brought negativity into your life, they will get upset. Like, undoubtedly, they will get upset. They don't like it, and then they don't like you because now you're making them feel bad. And you're not doing it intentionally. You're just making them have to see something about themselves. So take it from somebody who has spent way too much time worrying about being liked and pleasing people. It is not worth your time. Thankfully, after mastering being a people pleaser, I've grown to realize that it's quite okay if people don't like you. They don't have to agree with you. It's all good. It's totally okay if they even think you are a capital B for standing your ground. That's fine. Just knowing that you're a good human and doing your best is really all that matters. So don't waste your time trying to get everyone to like you. It's actually not even possible, so don't even waste your time. You have to focus on you and spend your time and energy making your life as beautiful as it can be, and do not worry about what other people think. So the next time that you find yourself making choices or staying up all night because of what that other person thinks of you, I hope that you'll grab these 7 mind shifts, and sooner than later, you will find yourself living a higher quality life that actually feels more free. I promise you. I promise you. And if I can offer one more piece of advice as I close this episode out, if you find yourself as someone who is judging or gossiping or inserting your negative opinion, just stop. And remember how bad it feels when someone does that to you. Just focus on you and let others do the same. In fact, focusing on you will inspire others to do the same.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. Our goal is to bring you all kinds of value that will help you navigate these challenging waters of blending a family.
Reach out to us if there's something specific you want to hear.
And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.
And if you really like it, share with someone you love.
Ooh, and be bold enough to share it with someone you don't.